what's up, guys? GotDave here. And I was leaving work the other day, and my boss, he goes, how much do you use the front brake on that bike, you know? Like, because he rides dirt bikes, and usually, like, at least the way I am, like in the dirt, I don't use my front brake very much. You know, like, you got to be really careful and use a lot of feel when you use that front brake in the dirt, because it's like you got to be really careful with that thing or it'll wash the front end out and just like slam you down on your shoulder. And so I told him, I'm like, dude, I basically only use the front brake, you know, like you could ride around without a rear brake on the street, like no problem, dude, and have plenty of stopping power, have plenty of safety as far as that's concerned, you know, like it's not a big deal. Versus if you only had a rear brake, that would be scary, in my opinion. If I only had a rear brake on my bike, it's like I would really have to plan ahead for my stops or whatever, you know, just because you don't have like anything like braking power compared to that front brake. And that is very obvious. I mean, you could tell the difference. The manufacturers know the difference. You know, I mean, like, look at the RC8 is like honestly the best example. Having like that tiny little rear brake, just one tiny little rear brake, single piston, and then the front has two giant rotor, freaking dual caliper, like one on each side. Like, big difference, man. Night and day difference between front and rear. And it's kind of like a trip, because you're like, dude, how is that possible with the front tire being so small? Shit, coming into this way too fast. There, okay. Get that shit under control, man. It's a nice Mercedes. Whoa, what are you doing, dude? Get off the line, homie. Go ahead, dude. That was 2 close calls already. Like, holy shit, man. Huh. It's gonna be one of these mornings or what? Because I do experience that. I freaking have mornings that are sketchy, and then I have mornings that are like no big deal. It just depends, and it's weird because I have no idea on, I don't know what it depends on. You know, it doesn't even really matter like how much traffic there is. It's just sometimes cars will do funky stuff and then other times they won't, and it's like weird, man. So everyone's just like changing lanes all over the place right now. It's like sketchy, dude. But at the same time, it's fun. And to me, this is like way less stress. Like, even if a car like almost changes lanes into me, I'm just like, whoa, that was close, you know, but I say it with a smile. And it's not like a freaking stressful situation like how I feel when I'm driving. Like, when I'm driving, I hate driving, dude. I don't know what it is. The more I ride, the less I want to drive, dude. Duke is running freaking sweet right now. I got the, I did a little tune-up to the baby last night. I lubed the chain, and I added a little oil to it because the oil was a little bit low. Like, I stood it up straight, and the oil in the window was like just a little low. It was like at the bottom of the window instead of being like in the middle of the window. And I was like, ooh, that's not good, you know, like, don't really want low oil in my bike, you know, that's not probably a good idea. So I topped it off, you know, filled it up a little bit, so it's all good. I forget what else did I do. I wiped it down a little bit, gave it a little spray wax. I don't know why that guy was doing that, but he was definitely doing that. Every once in a while you see someone who, honestly, like, it really seems like they want to nerf you off, dude. You know, it really seems like they want to block you from splitting lanes. And it doesn't happen very often to me, but every once in a while I'll see someone and I'm like, are they trying to block me? Like, what's the deal, dude? You know, like, it doesn't make me mad, but it just makes me wonder. So anyway, that's what I had to say about front versus rear brake. You know, it's like, in my opinion, you could have a motorcycle that only has a front brake and you're good. But if you had a motorcycle that only has a rear brake, you got to be way more careful. Way more careful. Because you literally, like, there's situations like, in my opinion, almost, that you would have almost 100% of your freaking braking on the front. You know, and like, basically, the only thing I notice in a situation like that is when I use the rear brake in conjunction with the front, it keeps the rear end down. Where if I only use the front end, it'll be like, whoa, and the bike will stink bug. Like, the rear end will come way up. Where if I'm riding the rear brake just even a little tiny bit while I'm using the front, it'll hold that rear end down. So that's been my experience, yeah, with that. So let me know what you think about that in the comments section. And I will talk to you next time. Peace out, guys.